a special waste management authority, that we are continually adding more duties because of the state mandates. The latest, I note several of those in the annual report and budget review that we've talked about in past years. And the latest one that's coming down this year concerns sharps. And I'm happy to report that with the support of our board and the participation of the transfer station operators, we should within a month be adding a sharps drop-off collection free to the public at 3 transfer stations initially. Looking to the future, MSWA is building for the future. You're familiar with our site relocation project that will finally use those reserve funds that have been sitting there in our account for so many years and more. And in addition to that, we are replacing and upgrading our rolling stock. You're familiar with the 36-foot collection trailer that has been added and is working out successfully, and we expect to take delivery soon on a new Ford F-550. So in our own small way, things seem to be happening. I have no other major events to report, and I'll be happy to be here to answer any questions you have and receive any comments you wish to convey to the MSWA Board of Commissioners on the proposed budget for the next fiscal year.
Questions to the General Manager. Supervisor Pinches?
Just a comment. Of all of the budgets that I look over the year and everything, I want to commend the Mendocino Solid Waste Management Authority for their precise budget, but extremely easy to read. If you'll notice all the expenditures, it has an addendum page that shows what the line items, what all of the 50 expenditures for. It's very self-explanatory. It shows what's in the general fund, what's in the reserve fund, what's in the equipment reserve. All of there's nothing hid in this budget. It's right. Everything is right there in about 4 pages, and that's something that in any small or large, any government entities, you never see this to where something is easy to read. I mean, anybody off the street can pick up this budget and read it and completely understand it. I mean, which is something that's virtually unheard of in government. So I really compliment Mike and the work on this. As Supervisor Colfax, as we sit on MSWA, we've reviewed this before and approved it. But I just, it really sticks out to me that the simplicity of it, but actually the detail of it too. It's all right there, about 4 pages. If our county budget could be, each department could be this similar in the budget, boy, it'd be a step forward. But anyways, I just wanted to bring that out.
Thank you, Supervisor. Other comments before the board? Not hearing any. Mr. Sweeney, in regards to the Farm and Ranch cleanup grant, how are the previous sites looking? You know, when I was on the MSWA board, we had several other Farm and Ranch grants implemented, and sites were clean, and then preventative structures were placed into account to keep it from recurring. Have those shown to be recurring spots, or have we been successful in deterring the filthy people from trashing our environment?
As best I can recall, the preventative measures have been successful. As you know, we combine protection for a site with every grant to the greatest extent possible.
Right. Okay. So nothing leaps out to you in previous
No, what leaps out to me is the different sites where the berms, the fences,
right.
The ditches have done their work.
Great. Good to hear. Supervisor Pinches.
One other comment. One disappointment of mine, it's not the fault of MSWA, but MSWA has offered up a program to where if the county has sites that their code enforcement deemed to be cleaned up, MSWA has offered to use their funds to pay for the cleanup and then attach the property. And as of, to my knowledge, as of this date, the county, our code enforcement division, hasn't turned over 1 case yet to MSWA, which I think is somebody's dropping the ball, because there's several locations out there that would certainly qualify for this program. But that's our lack in our building and planning department through the code enforcement to do that, because they haven't turned over 1 case to MSWA yet.
Yeah, I believe we talked about that 6-8 months ago with one site in particular on the coast as a possibility for that option.
There's one site up on the north of Wellwell Hill, north of Willits too, that's you got extremely old landowners that can't afford to clean up. And
Okay.
so there are sites out there, but our building planning department needs to get
Okay.
kicked up a little bit to get some of those sites into the program.
All right. Supervisor Delbert.
On that issue, I don't think the issue is necessarily with the code enforcement, it's with the processing of the paperwork, which is an issue within the planning department that, you're right, needs to be addressed. Mr. Sweeney, I bet you can guess which question I'm going to ask you, because I've asked it every year.
No.
Where's your balance sheet?
Oh, I apologize.
I
It will be.
guessed that was going to be your answer, because it's the same answer I get every year.
Well, we do
'Cause I ask
have-
the same every year, where's your balance sheet? And I get the same question, and same response every year. So I think the last time I asked, I said I wasn't going to vote for it again unless I had a balance sheet. So I'm going to hold true to my statement. I won't support this, despite the work that MSWA does, and don't misunderstand that. But I'd like to see the balance sheet, because what I've looked at year after year after year is $750,000 in reserves. And I am adamantly opposed to the acquisition of more property, particularly through the eminent domain proceedings. And I'm adamantly opposed to new facilities that I don't believe are necessary. And that's $750,000 of the cities of Ukiah, Fort Bragg, and Willits, and the county of Mendocino that have been sitting in an account for years and years and years.